All right, good evening, everybody. I'm Adam Cummings, and I'll call this meeting to order and declare it to be a legally constituted meeting of the Town of Chi-Li Zoning Board of Appeals. If you can please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Board members tonight, are you trying to fit in with the decorations? Oh, okay. Jim Wiesner's on my far left, Fred Trott is on my immediate right, and Philip Supernalt's on my far right. Matt Sinicola, I think, might be held up right now. We'll see if he shows up later. Side table, we have Paul Wanzenried from the building department, and Matthew Piston, or how did I say that last month? I forgot already, but he's our town council tonight, better than Jared. Sandy Hewlett. Sandy Hewlett is our stenographer, and we will hear each application in the order as they appear on the agenda. And at the conclusion of each public hearing, the board will discuss and vote on the application, and the applicant will receive a letter with our decision within a week. I do have to point out, in the event of an emergency, our exits are the double doors you likely came in. The single doors in the back, they also go the same hallway and out. The side doors, they go to the back of the building in case we ever need to use it. And if you do have a cell phone, please silence that just to prevent any interruptions. We did change something, so I'm going to take one sentence out of my template here. I'm not going to go over the signs. They're in the application and cloud permit. Every one of them had it in there, so I'm not going to bring that up each time. But we'll move on to item 1. The application of Bell Atlantic Mobile Systems, LLC, DBA Verizon, 1275 John Street, Suite 100, West Henrietta, New York, 14586. The applicant is South Point Landing, LLC, at 1890 South Winton Road, Suite 100, Rochester, New York, 14618. The owner for a variance to amend an existing height variance, which was 58 feet approved on March 26, 1985, to a proposed 68-foot height for a rooftop wireless telecommunication facility on an existing building at the property located at 1200C Scottsville Road in the GB district. I just invite everybody, as your application comes up, come to the podium, your name and address for the stenographer for the record, and anything else you'd like to add about the description of your application.
All right, great. Hi, members of the board. My name is Drew Curran. I'm with Nixon Peabody. I'm joined by Jared Lusk, also with Nixon Peabody, Will Grover with Network Service Systems, and Mike Crosby from Verizon. If it works for the board, I'll just go through a quick procedural history of how we got here, the why behind the project, and then some specifics in the project itself. Does that sound okay?
Certainly.
Great. So we sent out our initial application on October 2nd. We got some feedback from the town engineer, sent over a supplemental application on November 12th to address the comments. We were here last week for the planning board meeting on the 18th, where we received unanimous approval for both our special use permit and site plan approval from the board. The board also determined that this is an unlisted action under seeker and that there were no significant environmental impacts. So that's why we're here today. Some background on the project. Does everybody have the application? It's a lot of paperwork. I'll just start by directing you to Exhibit F. If you want to open up and take a look at that first page there.
We have everything electronically.
Okay, then I'll just hold this up for you if that's okay.
So if you want Exhibit F, I was on Exhibit A, but if you want me to jump down to F, I can
That'd
jump
be
to
great.
Exhibit.
Just the first page would work for me.
Of course, they're all different sizes, so I have to. All right, which one is your F? There's photo 3. Which one specifically are you looking for?
We're looking for the RF report. Let's see where you're at.
The RF report?
RF report.
I'll let you just get, we're only here for a height variance.
Yeah, okay.
We don't need to get into all the technical engineering stuff.
Yeah, let's just dive in.
Skip the planning board stuff. We're only here for, why are you asking for 10 more feet from what you were granted in 1985?
Sure. So, brief background, Verizon's identified this as having a coverage gap. We need this existing facility to remedy that coverage gap. Co-locations preferred by the town. This is the best co-location in the area. That was based on our site search analysis. The building right now is 58 feet, as you mentioned, by a previous height variance. This will bring it to 68 feet. Your zoning code caps it at 35, and so we need the height variance in order to complete the project.
So to put it, I'm on this exhibit, which is photo 3.
Sure.
And viewing it from Scottsville Road. This is the existing array, and you're looking at being 10 feet higher than
I
that array.
believe that's actually the composite with the array.
Oh, that is the,
Yeah.
okay.
So if
That's
you go
it.
up a little bit
Yep,
and you see the previous photo,
yep.
okay, yeah, you'll see with and without. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's with,
It was well photoshopped in.
right, yeah.
Okay. Jim, any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Matt?
No question.
Fred?
Yeah, I have a couple. I know like in the city, they're using, cell phone towers to say on like light poles. Is that something that you could have done here?
So we did do a full site selection analysis, and this was the best available facility. There's no light pole available to affix the facility on, and this fit the needs of the project.
Okay. And is this able to have anybody else, like AT&T, would they be able to go on here?
I'll help out on these a little bit.
If you can
My name is
identify-
Mike Crosby,
thank you.
Verizon Wireless, 1275 John Street. So just starting from the height variance, so I'm the RF engineer, and what we need to do is we need to try to find ways to utilize existing infrastructure as much as possible. So when we talk about light poles or the construction of other light poles, yes, we do that where it makes sense. Here we have an existing structure, which makes more sense to do than building a new structure. Additionally, a light pole wouldn't be tall enough for it to work, so it's not an appropriate solution for the problem that we're trying to solve here. The antennas need to be located on the structure in a way that the structure itself doesn't cause a blockage to the RF signal, so it doesn't block the view shed. Because the end of the building, which faces southeast, has an existing stairwell parapet that's a stairwell penthouse that sticks up on the end of the roof, we're going to mount the antennas to the top of that because that stairwell would block the antennas if they were mounted on either side of it. And so that's the height that we're looking to increase, is just to place those on top of that. There's a second part to that, which is RF safety. So we have to place those antennas in a way that we're able to maintain safety for anybody that would be going up on that roof. This also achieves that goal. The last part of that is the trees going towards Genesee Valley Park. This helps to get the antennas up above that so that we can try to improve coverage in that area as well. So those things all work together as to why the antennas need to be located on top of that part of the structure, which causes the increase in height.
Good explanation.
And what is the area that you're looking to improve? What section are you trying to cover?
Yeah, so there's two parts to this. The first part is that the adjacent sites that are around, 1 to 2 miles away around this area, those sites are struggling to serve this area right now. They're overloaded capacity-wise. In order to solve that, we need to provide a new site, we call it network densification, in the middle of where the problem area is. So where this building is located, we're going to be going northeast and southwest along Scottsville is going to improve that area, especially in building coverage, as well as the Genesee Valley Golf Club area. So as you know, there's events like the McQuaid Invitational that takes place. They get 7,000 to 10,000 people in there. When that happens, the existing sites are completely overloaded. When we have this solution that will fix just this area, that's designed to fix this area, it's a 1-2 punch. So we fix this, but it also takes the load off of those adjacent sites so that they're able to serve their areas, whether it's university areas, other park areas, or other residential, commercial. So it's like a community-wide effect where we fix one problem, but it actually relieves the neighboring sites. So it's a 1-2 punch community-wide improvement.
So,
We need to stay focused on just the height, not the coverage of
Okay.
everything. I
All
wanna
right,
make sure
well,
we're
I'm just-
tying into that. Are you asking it to say, we need to stay at 58 feet?
no, I'm done. No further questions.
Okay. Sorry to cut you off on that one. I just know you love radio towers, and we'll sit here for an hour talking about the frequencies and everything else that we're using. Phil,
No questions.
side table? open up the public hearing. Not seeing any hands, ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion?
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
And we got approval from the county airport.
Right.
I saw that in the paperwork.
Yep. Yeah, I was surprised to see the airport overlay already.
Is there a picture in there showing what that front view would be from Scottsville Road? I think there was, but
So we've got this one coming from the side. That's the existing view.
but actually what it would look like with the,
That's that's the front of the building coming as you're heading.
so what it would look like with the
It's,
actual,
it's on the back side.
Yeah, everything that we're doing is on the backside,
So-
away from,
You can't see the,
okay, so it's not on the front side?
no, so it's,
it's on the back.
if you
and
follow
the
my
back
cursor,
sides.
that parapet or that penthouse part extends all the way over and it's on the back side of the building there. So that's why you'll only see it from this side. And so in this one with the red vans, you don't see it, but then you do see it here.
Okay, I didn't even notice it there. I see it now.
Exactly.
Well, that's a good sign.
Another question.
Okay, go ahead, Fred.
Any thought of going on to the public safety training facility?
Yes. So I can pull up the specifics in our application we did consider that location. It was ruled out. I can look to see if that was either they wouldn't lease or we needed to build it. I believe that's because they were not willing to lease.
Oh, okay. Are you going to have lighting for the aircraft?
No.
You know, like top of the tower, okay. That's it.
All right. I will declare the zoning board as lead agency and based on the information and evidence at this hearing, find this application to be an unlisted action of no significant environmental impact. Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'd ask for a motion to adopt this application.
Motion.
A motion, is there a second? I'll second. Board vote, Jim?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Fred?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
I also vote yes. So that's all set. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Application number 2, the application of Michael S. Gilbert, 3468 Chili Avenue, Rochester, New York, 14624. The applicant/owner for a variance to erect an accessory structure, a shed, to be 10 feet 0 inches by 12 foot 0 inches, proposed to be 5 feet 0 inches from the rear north property line where 8 feet 0 inches is required at the property located at 3468 Chili Avenue in the R-1-20 district. Let me just get your application real quick. All right. And it'll go easier if I jump to the map. Rotate it. All right, so we're looking at that north property line, 5 feet off of it. One condition, because you're at 120 square feet, you will need a building permit for this, so please continue to work with the building department on that. Anything else to add, sir?
My name's Michael Gilbert. I live at and own 3468 Charlie Avenue, Rochester, New York. And I have nothing to add. If everything's approved with you guys, I'm fine.
Okay. Jim, any questions? Matt?
No question.
Fred?
You weren't planning on putting a foundation down?
No.
Is this a shed designed for that?
I guess you can at an extra cost if you wanted concrete, but they said they didn't need it because I guess they use, I forgot what they call those spiral spikes and dig into the ground for wind protection.
Helical piles.
That's it.
That was a question I had.
Phil?
No questions.
Side table? No. All right, I will open up the public hearing. You two can do rock, paper, scissors if you'd like to compete. Otherwise, I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let's see. I don't have anything else, so I'll declare the zoning board as lead agency and based on the information and evidence presented at this hearing, find this application to be a type 2 action and of no significant environmental impact. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, I'd like to ask for motion to approve or adopt this application with that one condition of approval I said about the building permit.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Board vote. Jim?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Fred?
Yes.
Yes.
I also vote yes, so you're all set, sir.
All right, thank you.
Enjoy the shed. All right, application number 3, the application of the Broadway Group LLC, Trey Lewis, 216 West Side Square, Huntsville, Alabama, 35801, West Sunset Development LLC, Lou Bavone, 55 Alliance Drive, Rochester, New York, 14623. The owner for a variance to permit A, a front yard south parking lot, which is not permitted, B, 33 parking spaces where 53 spaces are required, and C, no formal berth where one is required to be 14 feet high and 60 feet in length, off-street loading at the property located at 4400 Buffalo Road in the GB District. Evening.
Good evening. Mike Montalto with Costage Engineering. With me this evening is Trey Lewis from the Broadway Group. We're here this evening seeking the area variances that you just outlined associated with the development of a 10,500 square foot retail store to be branded as a Dollar General facility. We did appear before the planning board at their meeting last Tuesday and did receive preliminary site plan approval with conditions to address remaining engineering comments and the outcome of the area variance requests. We did address the typical burden of proof standards in our application. I can go through those individually if you'd like. Primarily, the area variances being requested are associated with the operation itself and not needing to meet the bulk area requirements as outlined in the town zoning. What's important to note, especially as it relates to whether or not the parking number request is substantive or not, is that it's not specific to really Dollar General's operations as much as it is a retail store of that size. If you look at what the ITE, Institute of Transportation Engineers, discusses for these types of facilities, it's an average of 12 parking spaces with a seasonal high in December of like 25, and we're providing 33. The 33 is based on Dollar General's general principles. So it's not specific to just Dollar General that we don't need 53. It's the intent here is really to try to propose responsible development. We have approximately 29 feet to the eastern side of the site. We can run an additional row of parking down the side and could, hit the 53. We could have taken the banked approach. However, planning for excess pavement that, for this type of facility that just isn't necessary, we felt was prudent to apply for the area variance. As far as neighborhood character, it's really not a change in neighborhood character. We did provide an exhibit, whether it's front yard parking all along Buffalo Road corridor. It's not a detrimental change, to the community. Is it self-created? Yes, and we've chosen this site to develop, and the size of the lot, the size of the land that is being purchased from the existing owner. From the loading berth standpoint, it's pretty much the same dialogue from their operations and a single vehicle doing deliveries each week, and it's been designed to accommodate a WB67, adding another formal 14 by 60 square foot loading berth for that when it's not necessary for their operations was why we're seeking that area variance. I can go into more detail, but
Let's
try
see
to
how
keep
the
it to
board
what
questions go.
what we're proposing and why. That's the long and short of it, and I can go into further detail for questions you may have.
Okay.
We're a low traffic generator. We're a low delivery generator. And again, I think one of the really pertinent points is it's not really specific to Dollar General as much as just this type of facility and operation. And we have seen that, the ITE parking demands, are being utilized more than, some of the older standards that are just, you've got this many square feet, it's retail, it's this many parking spaces, and our application is in line with that.
Okay. Jim, any questions?
Did you do? Yeah. First one's for you. So planning board's already done seeker on this, I think?
Yes, they would have done it in terms of the site plan.
'Cause it looks like our copy's incomplete.
Right. So what I was, in terms of the filling in the answers or in terms of the signature?
In far as many of the boxes are filled out.
Yeah, I think it's the way the form created it, and then when the form migrates to the upload to something, I think those comment boxes disappear. But Matt, for tonight, we would be doing seeker for these variance actions, not for the site plan actions.
Correct.
Okay.
So we'll be, but our determination's different.
Correct. Yep, different actions, different
So it
determinations.
doesn't need the form,
Right,
so it's not pertinent to us.
right.
Even though it's-
And you're probably going to want to consider conditioning it on the final site plan approval.
Oh, right. Which they conditioned it on us granting variances, so.
Yeah, they
so-
gave a preliminary.
We'll get a
Yes.
final
And
copy.
you condition.
Yeah, they'll get it in the file. It'll be an unlisted action, but what's most likely an unlisted action, but what's also got to happen is they only got preliminary site plan approval. They didn't do the preliminary/final that they do sometimes at the planning board level, so they only did preliminary, subject to granting of variances. If we don't approve variances, then they don't have preliminary approval.
It was conditioned on other things too.
Agreed, but it's still focusing on they want to, there's usually like 31 conditions or something to that effect. But then it's not done when we're done here in terms of this project. It would go back to them, but not back to us.
And they'll finish.
Their
completely.
secret, yeah, yes,
Fully complete.
there's their series of it. Yep.
So my one question then for the applicant then is, so how do you envision these deliveries to take place if you don't have, I look at it and think, okay, if they try to do it in the front, when you pull in and go to the left, then you're kind of blocking the front of the store. And then if you go to the right, you could be blocking even more parking out there.
The right-hand side is where the delivery berth, or the delivery doors are at the far north corner of the building. Again, with, the average being only, 12 parking spaces that are utilized, the employees typically park on the right-hand side. The tractor trailer, we've got 30-plus feet of pavement over there. And again, it's a delivery once a week typically is what happens at the stores. So that's set up for tractor trailer. The tractor trailer would enter, turn left into the site. That's
And
a
back in.
wider lane there. It backs up it all the way back to the dumpster/loading dock area. Unloads delivers the deliveries. And
So all the maneuvering movements are anticipated to be on the site. We should not see any on.
all on site. Yep. Fully accessible for WB 67, the access from a state DOT standpoint as well.
Wouldn't the tractor trailer have to back in? Oh, they're
The
saying
tractor
that.
trailer's going to pull in and go left and then back in.
Right.
And we provided those turning templates to the plan.
Right.
Site plan application.
And this is going to happen during the day when you have customers?
Yes. Yep.
So isn't there kind of like a danger of pedestrians getting hit by the tractor trailer?
It happens every day. It happens at Speedway, it happens at McDonald's, it happens at Taco Bell.
Again, to keep in mind, the average parking demand daily is 12 parking spaces at any given time. So the 33 is even above and beyond what typically, they're low parking generators. They've got hundreds of stores where this is, how they're configured, and that's how they've found from an operational standpoint that this meets their needs.
You're set? Fred, you good? I'll go back.
No, just being the antagonist, and I think there was some discussion at the planning board about this. Usually we ask that you show where the load bank, the extra parking spots could go.
Oh, for the banking and for,
Yeah.
well, he described it as it'd be this white space over here. He would,
But we're not.
you would pave that.
Yeah.
They're not being shown, but there is space to put them here.
Yeah.
But once again, as he said, you'd put more, you'd make a sea of asphalt and you'd have an increase in impervious.
No.
Surface there.
There's 20,
A lot of times when we have
there's
people come
29
in-
feet there.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's not depicted
It's
here.
not, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
we're
depicted,
purposely
but it's
not.
not planned.
We're purposely not depicting it
Right.
because we're seeking an area variance.
Right. So they don't want to show
If we were
55
to bank
spaces here,
them,
they're
then
showing 33.
we need to provide a design. When we had an early intake meeting, with town staff and demonstrated that we could hit the parking code requirements, and we discussed, the procedures, whatever. Should we be unsuccessful in obtaining the area variance for the parking, then in the 29 feet to the east, and again, the parking stall depth is 18 feet, and then I've got 10 to 11 feet to accomplish grading and stormwater. Again, this is not a case of where I don't have physically enough room to provide the parking spaces. This is, we're trying to be responsible in terms of development and not put down all that impervious surface area that is just not necessary for operations.
And as you said before, you're doing that not just based on this particular tenant, but it's based on the Institute of Transportation Engineers guidance.
If you go and you look at that, at the variety store land use, this is not specific to Dollar General. This is not, hey, ITE says we need, this is not, town code says 53, ITE says 41, and we're coming in at 33. Town code says 53, we're providing 33. You look at ITE, and it substantiates an even lower number. And the trend between the last version of the parking analysis book and the new version is the multiplier has gone down yet again. And we're not even factoring that in. So these types of stores, they just don't generate the parking demand, whether it's Dollar General or any other, 10,000 square foot variety type store. There was some dialogue relative to that at the planning board saying, well, wait a minute, what happens if an area variance is granted and the use, the store is built out for a certain type of tenant, there's a 15-year lease initially on it as well. Redevelopment in the future, we could be staring at the same thing we're staring at today where the building got. So, again, we just feel it's prudent development, in this day and age to put not as little, but to not overdevelop sites with additional impervious surface area, stormwater runoff, et cetera.
Matt, jumping back to you, any questions?
No, I guess specific to the parking, I mean, if it were repurposed for another commercial use for a lot that size, it seems like the parking would be adequate, so it's hard to see why we need to hold it to the bigger number.
Fred?
I don't have any other questions.
Phil? None. All right, so we covered parking. We might as well cover the front parking. We have just about every other business in that entire area has front parking. Our community center that used to be on this site technically had back parking or rear parking. I'm not even going to broach too much on there because the planning board has evolved this far enough along to not look at alternatives for that. But I think that goes along with the minimizing of the parking spaces, or reducing, not to say minimizing. That also lends itself to why you're asking for front yard parking instead of loading them all up on the sides. And then just logistically, it makes sense to be at the front entrance of the building. Side table, anything to add? All right, I'll open up the public hearing. Not seeing anyone else present.
Motion.
We have a motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor saying aye? Aye. Opposed? So tonight, we do have 3 variances, and I would actually say they're all mostly dissimilar, so we will decide on each of them individually. So I do have sheets for each of those, and we'll, once we get to that point, we'll go for each one, unless the applicant requests them to be all packaged together for some reason.
Sure.
So individually it is. I will declare the zoning board as lead agency, and based on the information and evidence presented at this hearing, find this application to be an unlisted action and no significant environmental impact. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed? So moving on to the first one. One condition of approval will be that final planning board approval must be obtained. And once again, that is for letter A, the front yard south parking, to allow that where it's not permitted. Ask for a motion to adopt this application with that one condition of approval.
Motion.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
A second. Board vote, Jim?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Fred?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
I also vote yes. So that one's all set. So moving on to B, this is the 33 parking spaces where 53 spaces are required. Same condition of approval. Ask for a motion to adopt this application with that one condition.
Motion.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
A second. Board vote, Jim?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Fred?
Yes.
Yes.
I also vote yes. And letter C, regarding the formal birth, where we require one, in this case, they're asking for none. Same condition of approval, just to be consistent. And ask for a motion to adopt this application with that one condition.
Moved.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. Board vote, Jim?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
I also vote yes, so you're all set with that.
Thank you.
Thanks for the presentation tonight, and have a good Thanksgiving.
Yes. Have a great evening and happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
We still play rock, paper, scissors.
No, and they're not official results anyway. You just get bragging rights if you win. All right. We have minutes from the October board meeting. Ask for a motion to accept and approve those
Motion.
minutes. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Yes. Second.
Second. All those in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So those are all set. And then our next meeting, reminder to everybody, is December 16th. We're a week earlier. I did look, we have one application. But once again, that's Tuesday, December 16th at 7 o'clock. And I'll make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.